Hey guys, what's up? This is Dan of Gaming Nonsense Uncensored. When I went outside today, I was very happy to see a box, and within it, my copy of Brew Crafters from Kickstarter. Dice Hate Me Games finally got this game out. Cannot wait to see what's inside. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you guys, there's a lot of weight in this box. Now, these are the Kickstarter exclusives. Quick go over these. Got the Everyone's Pale Ale, the Irish Dry, Point Plastic Porter. Got a marketing specialist. That's it, just a few extras. But this is a chock full of components. So as is usual, we got our different color player markers. Got your usual little bag of meeples right here. Now, all these different color components in here are your hops, your yeast, like all the components you need to make your beers. So these are the resources. These are the coffee ones, the black ones. And the player color markers for keeping track of your labs. Now this is the coolest thing on earth. This is the first player marker. Without a doubt, the coolest thing I've seen. I love the fact that they actually got a nice stout for first player. A bag of baggies, which I would have loved to have seen in the last couple of games that we got, that for some reason they were woefully absent. Now the thing in Brew Crafters is, it's a worker placement game with like resource management, but it's all about making these awesome beers. And you can see they each have different amount of victory points, and I like that, the Better Bitter Coffee Stout. So these are going to be the resources that you need. Right over here, you're going to see this one like uses 4 barley, 2 hops, 1 yeast, and 3 fruit. Meanwhile, you might just go for this one here. The Everyday Ale, which is only 3, 2, and 1. And these are also like the renown, the victory points that you get for making them. Tell me that doesn't look like a beer that you would immediately like to have with this game. Heartland Golden Apple, High Country. So you're going to be using, I like that, Mars News IPA. That looks really cool. The way that the game works is you're going to be having 9 beers out, like that Reverend Green Chocolate Espresso Stout. Oh my god, these sound so good. Still recovering from a bit of a cold, don't mind me. Oh, that looks like a nice beer. Now this is one thing that's really cool too. I like that they give a callback to their game Viva Java, the coffee brewing game. And then here is our advanced workers. So these are going to be workers that you'll be able to recruit throughout the game that will give you benefits. Alright, so I'm not going to dwell too long on each of the people because I want to get to showing you the amazing, amazing shits in this game. But the workers, like the brews, you're going to be getting 9 of each for each game, so there's a little bit of customization. Here's our player aid cards and the local merchants, spice importers. I mean, the art is absolutely awesome. I love the fact that they use like a real photo style and some interesting artwork for the people. Now you can see the rule book is incredibly beautiful. Not too bad, clocking in at about 15 pages. And one thing I do like to see is facts at the end of gaming books because sometimes I forget those things. Now, a lot of people know that Caverna is a game of cardboard. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 14 sheets of shits here to knock out. Now, these are the brews, which is incredibly awesome. They actually you get a little punch out of each type of brew that you make throughout this game. So, and I love that it's a 6-pack look. Here's the money counters in the game. For instead of just packing the box full of resource components, they have these 4 times area things here. So like if you have 4 hops, you can just put the 4x on top of that. You don't have to load up your board. Some people don't like that. I like that for games. I like to have cleaner boards. You know, if you have 100 resources or something, you don't need 100 little pieces. They also show you on the back the renown for these things. Here's the other thing that's really cool. As you play, you can actually customize up your area. Like you can plant farms, yeast labs, you can increase your processing area. So with each of these, you're upping your own particular board. So there's like a bit of a customization element. I mean, these chits are awesome, and man, oh man, it is packed full of cardboard. And then for each player, these are your shift workers. So the more workers you get, you have to actually pay out more each turn. That's another thing I like in this game, as opposed to most games where it's like you just pay $5 and you get another worker. This game, you're actually paying each individual worker, and the more that you have, the more you got to pay out. So it stops somebody from just getting an early worker and doing that runaway mechanic where, like, take for example Caverna or Agricola, someone has 4 people, you only have 2, you know, you're trying to play catch up. This game, it's a continual resource. Actually almost like Agricola with how you got to keep paying out the food. And speaking of Agricola, the game has loans. Yay, ways to get negative victory points, because you always want those. And much like Agricola and the others, these cannot be replenished. If you take a loan, you're forever known as a needy. And I mean, this is just awesome. I mean, look at the chits. These are the victory points, like the renown. But how can you not love this, that you actually get these little 6-pack chits and even more beers. Being a coffee fan myself, I'm looking forward to the Espresso Stout. And also, I mean, there's their flagship, the Viva Java Porters. But I mean, how cool do these things look? And let's get to the player boards. Now, you're going to see here, these are your player boards. You start out with just a simple brewing area that'll let you do 1 at a time. This is your storeroom. You can have up to 12 ingredients in there, but you can build additional store areas. A mash tun, your tour and tasting room, your brew with pub, your own farm. So I do like that your player board, your tableau, is actually an area for you to build up and customize. And it's definitely going to be an awesome element. And the game goes 2 to 5 players, which is also pretty nice, because you'll notice that for some reason every game is 2 to 4. You know, it's nice to have a 2 to 5 player game where you can get another seat at the table. Your friend comes by, he's no longer screwed out, he can get in. Now these are your lab areas, and this is really cool too, because as you research, like take for example, you research your first basic ingredient, you take one from here, you're going to get 1 basic ingredient. But if you research it again, at the start of each winter, you can take any 3 basic ingredients. And these things are cumulative. So if you go through to breakthrough, you can now take 1 basic ingredient when you receive at least 2 ingredients from a new market space. So these are going to really add up, and then you can actually add your own game end scoring conditions. So that's another really neat feature. Now one other thing is this. This is also... This side is the advanced. Now you'll take, for example, on this board, you'll notice that growth and management, grand opening, you gain 2 rep if it's still year 1, otherwise you gain 1. However, on this board, it's different goals. You got building and equipment, this is lab versus growth, this is advanced ingredients versus brewing, you know. So what's cool is they have 5 different ones, and they're all different scoring methods. So once you play this game a few times, you can jump into your advanced game, and now you got a little bit of more of an asymmetrical type of play style, because with these different ways of scoring and play, it's not a straight game where everyone's doing the same thing. You get a little more customization, which is very awesome. Here is our action board, where you can start your own private investors, you can hire a new shift. There's the malt market, hops market. This is where you do the action selection, just like you would in Agricola or any of those other worker placement games. So take, for example, say we're playing a game. If I can ever get the meeples out. So Kim goes here. She gets the 3 malt. I can no longer take that spot, so I might jump over to the hops market to take the 2 hops that are on the board. Pink meeples. You never see that in games, which is pretty cool. Then this is the second part of the action selection, where you can install your building equipment, you can process beer, you can do your lab researches. There's collaborations, which is another thing that Dice Hateman Games seems to enjoy, where you're going to get these bonus joint actions. Here is another player board. So based on the player count is what type of player board you use, which again is very cool because it changes style from game to game. And then here's the year marker, which you're going to use to keep track of the 12 turns throughout the game. So all in all, this is a very awesome game. Ben Rossett, we are very happy that you made this. We are looking super forward to playing it. And we want to remind you, you can always hit us up at GNU Podcast on Twitter. Find us on Facebook, Gaming Nonsense Uncensored. We hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. We're hoping that this game is even better, and you're going to hear about this on a very soon upcoming episode of Gaming Nonsense Uncensored on Stitcher and iTunes. Alright guys, let us know if you played this game, if you kickstarted it, and what you think in the comments below. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great one, man. Now go get that Brew Crafters.